Hi everyone, I hope you're doing amazing. I know you're used to having a weekly forecast on the newsletter, but I'm going to be doing an August forecast this week because on my podcast Spirit School, I have been doing a monthly forecast for over a year now. So it just so happened that the newsletter also landed at the time of the new month. So here we are. And as part of my subscribers, as part of my YouTube channel, I'll also be explaining a little bit about my process for a couple minutes here. So if you're not interested in understanding the process of how I receive the information I do for you guys, just fast forward a couple minutes, it's all good. And then I'll start recording the podcast episode and the video, of course, for you guys. So when it comes to energy, it's something that I was really nervous about at first because I'm a very practical and skeptical medium myself. I need evidence. I need to know that the information that I am receiving lands and that it makes sense for somebody else, because much of what comes through doesn't make sense for me. But over years of developing as a medium, I realized that it's not for me to understand most of what comes through me. It's for who it's for, right? So I literally set an intention before I start that spirit is wise, they're intelligent, they know who will be attracted and drawn to watching this video forecast or listening to the Spirit School podcast. So this information speaks directly to them. I'm not vain enough to think that or believe that everybody in the world is going to listen or that this message is for absolutely everybody. I literally set the intention, and intention is everything, that what comes through me will land for the people who will be tuning in. And I just trust, like so many people, I get messages all the time, like I literally stumbled upon your podcast, or, like they aren't looking for me. And that's because Spirit's aligning them to me. And that's how I run my business actually, which is a whole different topic, but it's all about like attracting, but just trusting the alignment of life, right? A lot of faith, a lot of trust, a lot of surrender. So I set my intention, and the truth is I knew I would be doing this video all morning. So I've already have a few notes because while I was doing my hair and makeup, which is how I kind of let the world of spirit know I'm ready to work on their behalf, I was getting so many downloads, so many inspirations. That's to come at the beginning of my talks. You'll see I'm not using the cards, I'm shuffling them, I'm getting the energy in them, I'm acclimating to the heart of the cards, but I'm saying the information that I'm receiving first. And I simply just set my intention. I say a prayer. You'll see me do it here in a second. I give the cards a really good shuffle. I let the world of spirit know that I'm clear. I'm showing up as my best self today. I have no expectations and I'm just ready to serve. And so, so I'm just going to get started. Hello everyone, and welcome back to Spirit School. This is your monthly forecast for August. I'm a little bit excited and a little bit nervous. I'm also recording a video of this podcast because, as many of you know, I've launched my YouTube channel just a month or two ago, and it's doing really well. And so all the interviews that I'm doing on Spirit School, so you would have had Anthony Maraca. I didn't get Fleur's video because I told her we were just doing audio, and so we didn't do ourselves up for that video. And of course, Jonathan, the medium, my last interview, which was amazing. So many positive reviews from that. Thank you guys. Those are up on YouTube too, so you can watch the video version of much of this podcast now. And so I do a weekly energy forecast for my newsletter, and I just thought, hey, why don't we do a monthly one for the newsletter and roll it into Spirit School, the podcast as well. So if you are interested, if you're listening to this on the podcast and you want to see my pretty face, I'm like, you can head over to YouTube, Squamish Medium, and I'll link it below in the show notes as well. So again, I just need to reiterate, when I work with the energies of the month, I'm literally setting my intention to Spirit to pass through information through me that the people who they know will be drawn to listen to this and will listen to this episode will resonate with. So I'm not speaking to the entire world. That I'm not doing that. I'm literally saying, okay, Spirit, I trust your divinity. I trust your intelligence. Who needs to hear what? And I show up with no ego, no expectations, and I'm just ready to serve. And so it's always getting into that mindset of service that takes away all my fear. I talk a lot about fear, and I talk a lot about the fear that I've overcome in the past couple years to get where I am today. And it's a lot of fear I have to walk through. And I'll be honest with you, it really comes down to service. And I've said it before, especially with COVID when it first started. I have a whole podcast episode on it. It was like pretty much the first few weeks in quarantine when I recorded that. And service is the antidote to fear. So anytime you're scared in your life, anytime you're unsure or feeling paralyzed, you just need to fall into service, and it will eliminate that fear real fast. So I'm just going to kind of get started. Now, one of the things that Spirit was really inspiring me about August, I'm excited, but I'm also kind of nervous about the information I'm going to be giving you, because I don't want to instill fear. That is not my jam. That is not my game. And anytime I have a client sitting in front of me and I say to them, if there's information that comes through that appears to be negative, just know that that's because you have the power and free will to change it. So Spirit doesn't show me things that are negative that can't be changed, right? So if they're showing me marital problems or they're showing me internal conflict, it's because the person who is receiving the message has divine free will, the ability, the capability to make the necessary changes to alter the path. So I just want to preempt what I'm about to say with that, because they're making me feel that, and I've talked to a few of my private friends about this because I got this download last week, actually, when Spirit was telling me not to make any bookings for October, November, which kind of screws up my wait list because there's over 40 people on my wait list for a reading. And yeah, I'm like, when am I going to do these readings, Spirit? And they clearly told me last week, don't make too many bookings in October, November. You're going to want some time off. And I had a feeling leading into the election of the USA, which is November 3rd, that things would be really intense. So I was planning on taking the first 2 weeks of November off anyways. And then of course we had Lindsay, my astrologer friend, Lindsay Rock, on the podcast. And she talked about November 13th kind of being this peaking point day of like this like kind of volcanic eruption of energy. So I was already planning on taking that day off and actually that whole week. But what Spirit has been revealing to me as I've tuned into the energy of this forecast. 1 second, I have a technical thing happening right now. Okay, we're just going to trust this. Okay, sorry, I was having a bit of a technical problem. They're making me feel, what a cliffhanger, hey? What about August? Sorry, guys. They're making me feel that August is really kind of like the calm before the storm. So I do feel that August is going to be a peaceful month in comparison to the few months that we have ahead. And I am saying this because there was such a powerful message that came through from Spirit today, so much so that when I connect with Spirit, I feel barfy. Like I feel there's so much energy around me that like I actually feel like gagging. It's kind of a weird thing that happens to me. I've seen different mediums like burp or have different ways that their energy bodies pick up this Spirit. But when Spirit was bringing this to me, it's like this barfy sensation that makes me feel like I'm about to see someone I have a crush on. If you've ever had a crush, you go back to high school years, you're about to see your boyfriend, the next day you have those butterflies in your stomach. That's what happens to me when Spirit comes near. And they were telling me so clearly that we are entering a tower moment, right? We are entering a tower moment. And if we look at the archetype of the tower card and the traditional tarot, and more the modern day spins that we have on the meanings behind the tarot, but it's really around nothing can come anew until there's a crumbling, right? We've seen it in our own lives. Usually the light comes after we've been cracked open, after something happens to us that just like is our bottom, our worst case scenario, you know, and then outside of that, when we get over that, there is beauty and renewed energy and something new coming to us. And so I feel like if I look at the energy of September, October, November, we are looking at our tower moment as a civilization and as a society. We have seen since 2012 with the big shift in the energy that happened, you know, things have been picking up and speeding up at a rapid pace, and people are awakening like never before. People are meditating more people are into their spiritual divinity and their path, their personal connection to God, away from religion, but this like kind of personal relationship with our higher source. And so we've seen this kind of quickening take place, and I feel that we're at the point now where it's being revealed why this shift is happening. I see, if you're watching the video, I see a lot of lights when I do this work, and I just saw like a lot of light over there to my left. So I get a little bit distracted with that. Now, I want you to get excited about this change. It's not going to be rainbows and butterflies, but what in life is, right? There's no shift or change that we make in our life, whether it's a move to a new house or a shift in career. None of it is like a blissful experience. It's always pulling us out of our comfort zone. It's always making us second guess ourselves. It's always bringing up the shadows and the stuff that has been unhealed in our lives. That's what these shifts are about. Did you guys just see that too in the video? I'm telling you guys, watch the YouTube. Whenever I'm doing this work, it's like a light show. But we are kind of like entering our tower moment. And one of the things that Spirit brought to me today, which was around this energy forecast, is really around, it's now, guys. I've been talking about this for months. I've been talking about this for weeks. It is time to reconcile our human experience with our egoic experience. It's time to reconcile and create peace and harmony between mind, body, and spirit. There are still so many of us that are speaking so unkindly to ourselves, and our physical bodies reject it. If you say to yourself, if you're one of these people who ruminates in your head, like, I hate myself, I suck, I'm not intelligent, how did I get here? This person doesn't like me. Like, there's these, Spirit is telling me so clearly that this has to stop. And when we say things to ourselves, our bodies reject it. We're actually in a disease. We're actually in discomfort. And the time is now. I want August to be the biggest focus on reconciling and righting the energy between your mind, your thoughts, your body, and your spirit. Your spirit is the most pure form that you can connect with in this existence. Your spirit's the one that you have an opportunity and you feel so expansive. Your heart is cracked open. You have tears of joy. That is the sensation of your spirit. That is your true essence. And our mind is the one that tells us it's connected more to the ego. You can't, you won't. History shows that, this false evidence appearing real. This is kind of like what, our minds bring up in our existence. And then our body just kind of reacts to our minds and our thoughts. So if we're somebody who like can't lose weight, or we're attracted to bad food, or we're like numbing out with alcohol or cannabis or whatever, it's a lot of it is because of the way that we think and the way that we process our thoughts and our feelings and our emotions, or avoid them, right? So now is the time. Spirit is really hammering this in. This has come up a lot in the past year that I've been doing these, and I see why now, because they're making me feel how we approach September, October, November, especially October, November, will completely be dependent on our relationship and the harmonious level of peace and integrity and inner peace from our mind, body, and spirit connection. So what does this look like? Just fucking talk nice to yourself, right? Like, literally, is it so hard to treat yourself like a 6-year-old girl or a 6-year-old child, which you are that 6-year-old child that was inside of you? How would you talk to her? You would want her to know that she's a queen. You would want her to know that you are so special. You are so divine. I get really emotional talking about this stuff. You're perfect. You are the vision of perfection, right? We need to talk to ourselves like we are the 6-year-old girl that we once were. And what does she need to hear? And this has been such a big message and takeaway that Spirit has gifted me in this past year. And it's really helped me walk over my fear. 6-year-olds aren't scared. You tell a 6-year-old, I'm putting you in a tennis class today, they're showing up to that tennis class. They've never played tennis. They're not saying, they're like, oh, I'm going to suck or I'm going to look silly. They're like, give me my runners, give me my racket. I'm getting over there right now. They're just spirit. They're our essence. They are our core essence. And so if we can let Spirit lead the way, our spirits, we will live such aligned, magical, and peaceful lives. And when shit goes down in October and November, energetically in the collective, and this is going to be our tower moment, guys. How are we going to show up to that experience? Get it right. Get right now. We have 31 days in August to really make this shift. And you don't need to go into years of therapy and dig out all the past to like, clean it up. You don't. You can start today at this very moment that you hear this message, talking kindly to yourself. Write the energetic harmony between the mind and the body. Your spirit's good. You don't need to do anything to your spirit. You need to let your spirit take the lead is what you need to do. But you need to write that connection between your mind and your body. And that is going to be so important for August. And I can't say this enough, and I know I'm repeating myself, but it is so important for what lays ahead for us, okay? So do the work, guys. And it's fun work. It's fun work. It's just replacing old habits to new habits, okay? Spirit also brought me the inspiration for you guys for this month that the time is now, as this tower moment is approaching, the time is now that the value set of us as a collective, us as a society, us as a humanity needs to shift. Material wealth and economic growth has not served us in any way, shape, or form. It has not served us. And I read a book recently that talked about this value set in North America, Canada and America, really shifted and happened around the Vietnam War. So before that, and there was a study done at UCLA where they interviewed or they surveyed every freshman coming in. I don't know if that's what they call it in college, but a freshman, like brand new babies to college. What do you want for yourself the most? And back before the Vietnam War, over 80% of respondents reported, I want to know more about me. I want to know more about what makes me tick, what lights me up. And then with the kind of propaganda that happened around the Vietnam War, around economic growth, financial stimulus, like material wealth, things shifted at a very big level. So corporations then who used to treat their employees like family, this is why people in the generation before us really stayed at their jobs forever, is because they were treated like a family member. Like they had family picnics. They really promoted how many pay increases. It was public. It's like, you know what, we love our family so much, everyone got like a 10% increase or whatever, but they were so transparent about it. And then the shift happened after the Vietnam War about we need economic stability and economic growth. So then the corporations really started thinking about that bottom line over the person. And so now we see the shift kind of happening where we feel uncomfortable in these corporate organizations because not only are they out of alignment and out of integrity, but we feel that because we're energetic beings. We feel that we're not important. So why would I give you all my time, all my energy? So this really kind of happened just within the past 50 years. And so what Spirit has been bringing to my attention, and again, they brought this knowledge to me in a very synchronistic way, and I was so confused. I was like, I'm not interested in economics at all. Like money doesn't excite me as much as like time or energy or spiritual connection. But they brought it to me for a reason. I feel like it's because of this, because they're making me feel that now is the time where there's a shift happening in our value sets in life. And so what Spirit is inspiring for the people who are drawn to listen to this today is that you don't have to worry and wait for the global consciousness or the collective to come up with the new value sets are. We as individuals, as sovereign spiritual beings, can come up with our own value sets that we choose to carry after this tower moment happens. It's a fresh start. It's a new beginning. We see so clearly what's not working and what's out of alignment for the people who are kind of waking up, right? And really interested in this kind of stuff. And anyone who's drawn to watch this video or listen to this podcast, of course, you're in that basket, right? And so we as individuals need to assess our lives, what's out of alignment. This came up last week in the energetic forecast for the newsletter listeners. What is not in alignment will not stand a chance after this tower moment. So now is the time in August to start reflecting, what are my values as a human being? What are the values as a family? Again, look at your backyard. A lot of us are getting overwhelmed and frozen by the big picture, by the big scale of events that's happening in the world. And I feel like that's a distraction right now. And what we're really being asked to do by the world of Spirit is get it right in our houses, get it right in our soul family groups, in our family circles. Start there, do the work there, and just trust the divine plan, that whatever you do in that small sacred circle is going to ripple out to the greater collective, because everyone's going to be doing this work individually. Okay, so that's going to be really important to you for August. What do you value, right? What's the sacrifice? What are you willing to let go of to get to where you can live in alignment with the values that you set? Maybe this could be a fun family exercise. You have like maybe you're a single mom and it's just you and your girl. Maybe you guys can sit down and talk about values. And I'll tell you, it can be pretty overwhelming. Like, I don't know, what are my values? Look at your triggers. Your values sit on the other side of your triggers. So I used to get hella triggered when a friend would say, let's do this, or yeah, I'll help you at that time, and then they bail. I would be super triggered. So on the other side of that trigger is dependability. So dependability is one of my core values. I'm always going to be dependable, and I expect other people to be dependable who I bring into my life. So, sorry, that sounds like really, like the people around me have really high expectations. I know there's a few friends that are really going to listen and be like, ooh, don't worry, I'm very forgiving as well. Okay, so let's kind of get into a bit more of the meat of this. I hope you guys resonated with this. This is kind of what came this morning, and it actually kind of brought me to tears. So I just feel like it's going to land for some people out there, okay? Don't be scared by the tower. Don't be scared by the tower. You guys got some good ones. As you guys know, I use the Rebecca Campbell Oracle deck when I'm doing these monthly forecasts. And so there's, we get the card about the original light worker right now, right? So I'm speaking to light workers right now. All of my work is working with light workers. Even people who come and get readings with me, they're always people who are very interested in spirituality. They're not looky-loos. They are literally interested in their own development. So I know all of you out there are light workers who are attracted to listen to this, but this is kind of you going inwards and understanding your mission in this experience, right? There's this longing for home. So sit with home. You can sit with home through the breath. You can sit at home through meditation and through visualization. And you can ask for inspirations. A lot of you are going to feel overwhelmed with what I'm saying. And what do I do? Where do I go? How do I even know? What's my mission? What's my purpose? And you can sit in the silence. And if you slow down enough, because we're such a busy, fast-paced society now, none of us slow down enough to actually receive clear messages. It does take a slowness. It does take a slowing. So when you're driving your car, maybe don't have any music or podcast on. Maybe if you're in the bath, just sit there in silence for a bit, not thinking about what's going ahead, and let those thoughts come, but then let them leave just as fast, okay? But there is information that we're all receiving from home, but they are asking us to really sit in silence a bit more. Okay, so take a seat, whatever this looks like for you, whatever resonates. I have to take breath. I need to. My body's go, 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 and my mind's go, 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 go. And I cannot receive until I slow down. And I do that through the 5-5-5-5 breath, right? So inhale for 5, hold for 5, release for 5, doing that 5 times. So that's how I kind of slow my body and my nervous system enough to be able to receive from spirit. Now, they're also making me feel, there's a lot of people out there who are listening to this and have been following me for a long time who are feeling like badasses, okay? I do get the warrior woman card here. I do get people who are going to hear this message and take it as their mission. They are going to be like, I am going to show the world of spirit. I am ready to rise. I am ready to show up. I am ready to do this work on behalf of the world of spirit. And you have to understand that when we do things like set our values, when we declare to spirit, I am ready for this tower moment and I am right in my mind, body, and spirit, you are a sovereign ass bitch. And so this is what this card represents. And I know that this message this month is going to inspire the heck out of some people. And I'm very grateful for that. I am very excited for that. So yeah. I am very, very excited for that. And I want to hear from you guys because I do get a lot of messages when it comes to these forecasts, and I want to hear from you guys. Now, you also have to understand that spirit is giving us the ever unfolding rose here. And this to me for this month really signifies it doesn't all happen at once. We are such an instant gratification society. We have to trust that every little thing that we do is part of our unfolding. It's all part of the plan. And it might seem like it takes a long time, but I promise a year from now, when you're a completely different person living a completely different life, it's going to seem like it went by really quick. So Spirit's wanting you to just trust that they will give you signs, they will give you inspirations, that you're on the right path, you're doing the right thing, and that what you're doing matters. Because this is what happens. It's like, I see light workers do this all the time. They start studying and they start developing, and then they fizzle out because they're not seeing the instant impact. But you can't do that. You have to stay the course. You have to trust that this is unfolding petal by petal by petal. And roses don't have a date and time when they bloom. They bloom when they damn well please and when they're ready. And so you need to know that every little thing you do to right your mind, body, spirit, to, help the global consciousness, see the light and make good use of this tower moment that we're having, and just trust that every little thing that you do has an impact on that, and none of it's wasted. None of it is wasted. So just realize where you're asking things to hurry up already. Assess that. Why are you in a rush? What are you afraid of missing? Have you missed something in the past that you regret? Is there regret in your life? How do you forgive yourself for those regrets? The time is now to look at this. The time is now to look at this, okay? Oh, I love this. Oh, look at my crown is like tingling as I pull this card. But we got the Great Awakening card. We got the awakening. We got integration and a new way of being. How perfect is this for the energy forecast of this month? How perfect is this? So this is the awakening card. This is literally us like doing the work and being ready for the next wave of our existence. I feel really good about it, just so you guys know. When I talk about these tower moments, I'm not saying 2021 is going to be a breeze. As Lindsay said, we're going to be in this cycle for 4 years, which seems like a long time, but look at where you were 4 years ago, right? I mean, my God, I was pregnant 4 years ago. That seems like no time at all, yet a lifetime ago. There's no rush. There's no rush. But what I will say is that the next evolution of us as a society and humankind, I feel really good about it. I really do. I feel really peaceful about it. I just pulled the yes card. Yes, Spirit's excited about it too. So, man, we just need to so dip into love. We just need to really tap into the vibration of love. We need to love everybody in our lives. If you haven't done this, this is just kind of coming to me now. But I want you, wherever and whenever you are listening to this message, I want you to pause right after you hear me say your mission. And I want you to grab your phone, or I want you to grab your computer or whatever it is that you work off of. And I want you to message somebody or call somebody and tell them how much you love them. Whether it's a parent, a friend, a sibling, a child. I want an auntie, an uncle, a cousin, like somebody you haven't talked to in a long time. I want you to message them and say, I love you. You mean the world to me because, okay? Pause right now and do that, because Spirit is making my heart crack open when I talk about this, and I talk about this being the energy of what's to come. This is why we are going through all of this right now, is because the existence that we have potential to live within is that vibration. But we got to do the work first. And you could start right now, and it will make such a huge impact. Such a huge impact. Okay, so do it. Do it. I'm so bossy today. Okay, one final card here for the moment. So, you guys, like, this is just crazy. This is the Rewrite the Future card. Like, this is exactly what we're talking about. So this is just Spirit saying we are co-creators of our existence. We are complete co-creators with them on what's to come. We have so much sway, and so we have Spirit's ear right now. So this is, what do we want for the future? What do we truly want? Now's the time to start making those declarations and start making those claims. And I want you guys to get really excited for the future. I know I'm talking about some shit going down in these next few months. Sorry for swearing so much. I know some people listen with their kids, so I deeply apologize. I should have a disclaimer on this, on the show notes here, saying disclaimer, there's 2 swear words within this, but I get really passionate when I talk about this stuff. So I don't want you guys to freak out or get trapped into the gloom. If you do get trapped into the gloom, are you addicted to drama? I see this all the time too. I'll say a million good things and people hang on to the one thing that is apparent to be not as positive, and I have to call people out on their stuff. Are you addicted to drama? Okay, because I've said a lot of beautiful things here today, and this is what I want you to remember more than anything else. And I just want you guys to know I love each and every single one of you, from my heart to yours. I mean, even just saying that to you guys, my heart just cracks open. It hurts almost, but I do. I love each and every single one of you. I want nothing but the best for each and every one of you. I want every single one of you to rise to levels that you can't even comprehend. And I want you to get to a state of surrender enough so that your spirit can lead you there. But get right in the mind and the body to let your spirit lead you. Okay? That's where the magic happens. And so it's time to heal that. It's time to heal the mind and how we talk to ourselves. And that will in turn heal the body and be able to catch up with the perfection of our spirit. And this is really important for us as we enter this new time in our existence. And there's no coincidence on why we decided to come here at this time during all this. And we all have a role to play. And so take that seriously and have fun with it and feel the power behind that, and we'll all be good. So I hope you really enjoyed this monthly forecast. I sure did. I feel very peaceful. I feel very, very peaceful. And I would love it if you would just take a second and review this podcast on iTunes. So give it the 5-star rating. I love it when you actually leave kind words. It lets me know that what I'm doing impacts you and is of value to you. And, you know, I get a lot of emails and a lot of DMs. I'm like, man, it's so much quicker just to leave this on the podcast, and it helps other people find it. So I really appreciate every single one of you, whether you leave a 5-star review or not. If you're watching this on YouTube, definitely give me a like, give me a comment. What resonated with you, what lit you up, what freaked you out. I want to hear it all. I respond to all comments. And I just wanted to just say one last time, I love you. And I wish you the very best, peaceful, calm, healing, and high energy August ahead.